My name is Emma Shirley. I'm the Ag Education Coordinator for our nonprofit, the Sackets Harbor Ag Education and Awareness Center. We've put in a proposal for you all. It's called No Cost Dairy and Life Science Educational Experiences on the Farm, in the Classroom, and Virtual. So thank you so much for your time and consideration of our proposal. And I thought I would do just a quick introduction of the three parts of what our proposal is all about. So the first one involves our dairy tours. For the past over 20 years, Old McDonald's Farm has been inviting visitors into the dairy barns to see how we milk the cows and care for all the herd. And so behind me, you can see this is the equipment that we use. We have a utility vehicle that pulls a wagon here on the ride. So in the proposal, we're asking, this is sort of the biggest chunk of money of the proposal. We do need a new utility vehicle, as well as we need to update our wagon. We're looking for something more like a tram that's more accessible for the public. So I did have a friend of mine came on a dairy tour and took a few bits of footage for you to see, so that will follow right after this, so that you can actually see how the people enjoy the tour, how it goes. There's a recording that goes along with it all as we go, and so you can see how that's all put together and how the folks enjoy it. So that is the wagon tour. I would love to, sorry, it's a windy day on the farm. I would love to also hand out free dairy samples. That's part of the proposal as well. We're going to work with Great Lakes Cheese has offered to partner with us. I think handing out dairy samples while on the dairy tour, sort of a snacking tour, would be really neat to do. I'd also like to hand out free dairy samples when I go into the classrooms and bring these educational opportunities in there. So I think that would be just really bring the message home for them and make it an all-around pretty neat experience for them. So that is the wagon part. Right after this, I'll take you into the calf barns, and I'll explain a little bit about how the virtual tours that I do for when the farm closes, those that I bring into the classrooms, the virtual tour, how it differs from the wagon tours. It's a little bit more behind the scenes, and so I'll explain some of that to you when we head down to the calf barns that way. So and then actually I'll take you into my home. I have all of the materials for the programs that I want to offer at no cost to area schools. So I have some of my favorite activities that we do for a couple of the programs, Day in the Life of a Dairy Cow, Feeds and Feeding, and I have a What's Up with Soil, or the Dirt on Soil. So those are really important programs for everybody to see how the dairy science is connected with soil science, as well as nutrition and some of the other things that are required that dairy farmers need to know a little bit about everything in order to be a successful dairy farm. So so I have that, and I'll meet you at my house, and I'll show you some of those fun activities. So so those are the three parts, along with the free dairy samples that we're trying to bring to all of our visitors. So again, thank you so much for your consideration of the proposal, and I hope you enjoy parts of the wagon dairy tour, and I'll see you again over in the calf barns for a quick look at how the virtual tour goes. So once again, thank you, and enjoy the show. Again. So I am over in the nursery barn where we have all of our youngest babies. I explain they're born across the road, and then they come into the individual pen, and they can leave the pen once they are used to drinking from a nipple, and then they can move into a group pen. I can take you, let's see if I angle the camera this way. So here's one of the group pens here. They learn about how the babies all start on milk, and then they get weaned, and then they'll eventually be moving across the road. And I jump into my car very quickly, and away we drive. That gives me an opportunity actually in the car. There's a place where I stick a sign that thanks all of our sponsors and those who donate to the program. So that's a great opportunity to slide that in there and thank everybody who makes the program possible. And then we go across the road and we look in the newborn baby room. We even see calves being born. The hoof trimmer comes. We get an opportunity to see our sorting gate and explain how the technology works with that. So that's really nice. And then we go into the parlor, and they actually get an even closer view than we do on the wagon tours to see all of that. So they do get to, it's more behind the scenes. I think they get a little bit, they lose some of the smells and some of the sights, but they do gain a lot more behind the scenes information. So that's the virtual tour. Sometimes if I have kindergartners, I'll walk over. I like to call the other barn over there the kindergarten barn, and then the one behind me over that away there, that's once they're weaned, they go over to that barn. So sometimes I'll take some of my older kids there and tell them if they were a calf, that's where they would be if they were in the 3rd grade or something. Kind of have run of the place, and I can make it very individualized and personalized for everyone. Older kids, of course, we talk more about the technology, nutrition, vet care, and things like that. And the younger kids, really, it's all about the babies. And the milking parlor. Everybody likes to go in and see that. So that's the virtual part, and I'll meet you back at the house, and I'll show you some of the really fun activities that I do as well. So thank you again. Well, hello, welcome back. We're at my house now, and I just wanted to quickly show you just some of the activities that the kids can do when I go into the classrooms for those in-classroom presentations. And starting out, I thought I'd do some of the highlights from the A Day in the Life of a Dairy Cow. So first of all, when all the students come into the classroom, everybody gets an ear tag. The ear tags also have a dry heifer milking cow on them, and that way we can first start out about explaining what some of the different ages and reproductive stages that the cows are in. They also get to do a lot of really hands-on stuff. They learn all about cow comforts. One of the things, of course, is it's a toilet brush, but I like to tell them that it's actually just like the back scratchers that our cows have. So the kids all break up into the groups, they scratch each other's backs. I also have a water mister here and a fan that I bring, and so we squirt water, and I tell them all about some of the comforts that our cows have, as well as a sampling of all the different types of bedding, sand, gel, water bed, all those kind of things that the cows can have. So that's really fun. The cows, the kids, which are a herd, I tell them that in the beginning, that they're definitely a herd of cows. And one of the funnest things that they do is right here on the floor. We actually made a makeshift sort of manure scraper for the barn. The kids all walk around. They drop their manure there as a herd. If I pull the rope here, that the scraper spreads out, and they can see and watch how it pulls all the manure down the alleyway, and the kids have a blast. All the kids, they ask to drop all the manure over and over again. And they just think that's really fun. So those are the dairy cow ones. We do a bee one. Bees are very important, obviously, for pollinating a third, I guess, of the world's crops. And so around the classroom, I have all of the pollen here. I hide it all over the classroom, and the busy bees have to run around and collect it all and then fill up the hive with all of those little pollen balls. So that's really fun. It's another one of those kinetic activities that gets them moving and running and learning while they're doing it. There's a soil one too. I really think soils are very important. So this one shows you the difference between a healthy soil with a lot of soil glue versus an overworked soil, a less healthy one. And if I wiggle it a little bit, You can see, oh my, the soil that has a lot of organic matter and soil glue. If I wiggle that, the water's a lot clearer. Over here, the soil that's been tilled a lot is losing a whole lot of its structure. So that really drives the message home. And you can even see the difference. It's darker versus a lighter color, so a lot more organic matter and things in there to keep your soil aggregates together. So kids also learn in the feeds and feeding. This is with just cereal. You can really bring this home. A lot of kids wonder why a lot of animal feed is pelletized. And I tell them, here's a bag of cereal. Now say you really enjoyed the red ones the most. You can easily pick them out and eat them and leave all the other colors that you don't like. But once we mash it all up, and they they have fun mashing it up. They have little mallets that I give them. And once you mash it all up, they see that once it's all together, it becomes very difficult to pick out their favorite red pieces. So that you could do with cereal. This is the last one, the ruminant versus monogastric game. So on the screen, I put up a lot of pictures of animals, and everybody in the class gets one of these, and they all get to guess and move their paddles for ruminant versus monogastric animals. So we go through all of that with animal digestion. So it's a lot of fun, and keep the kids moving. They have a couple fun games that they play. The soil one, we do a sand, silt, clay, and water game where that gets the whole class up and moving around. And so it's a lot of fun, and they're remembering. And just like I said before, I'll be passing out dairy samples to them at the end as well to kind of just reinforce that how good dairy is for them. So those are some of the fun things. And thank you again for considering our proposal.